Cayo Perico solo can be a lot of fun, however there is a longer cooldown before you can start the heist again if you do it solo opposed to duo. I personally enjoy solos more because I can get them done faster and have a ton of side stuff I can do while I wait for the cooldown. If you complete the elite challenge in normal mode, you get an additional 50k. If you complete the elite challenge in hard mode, you get an additional 100k. In order to unlock hard mode, you need to complete the heist and wait for Pavel to text you that you can go back to the island. If you wait too long, then you'll be put back in normal mode again. I normally always make about 1 million solo, however if you mess up you can walk out with a lot less, and in that case, just stick to group heist. In order to start Cayo Perico, you'll have to complete a few setups. First, you'll need to scope the island. For this, you'll need to steal the plane Pavel has marked on your map. Use the fast travel method to get close to the location by getting in the seat of your submarine found next to where you often find Pavel standing. After you get close, hop in your Sparrow and take out the smugglers guarding the plane. Then, get into the plane and fly to Cayo Perico. Once you land on the island, directly behind you there will be a building. Inside this building, you'll find your secondary loot. You'll need to take pictures of these and send them to Pavel. You won't be able to carry all of it, however it lets you know where things are when you finally do the heist. To take pictures of the loot, you want to climb up on the box, then climb the rail. If you get good secondary loot and want to grab it during the heist, you'll need to use the forklift on the left inside the building. You'll use the forklift to lift up the box, then back up and drive towards the gate you first opened. This will allow you to climb up the forklift, then the box, then the fence to access that secondary loot. After this, there's one more location you want to check for secondary loot. Behind this building, you'll have 2 more tables. Take pictures and send them to Pavel. After that, get on the bike and follow me to the communications tower to scope out for your primary loot. And if you get lucky, maybe some paintings in the office for you. Remember that cash is the lowest secondary loot you can get, so don't go for that immediately. You want to go for paintings, white, green, then money. On screen now is the method most people will use for the scope out mission. Understand that you might fail this a few times when trying to learn. If you get it right away, then congratulations, you made the setup faster for yourself. If you lose the bike or get caught while trying to make the jump, to the right is a fence you can walk into. You'll have to get around without getting spotted by the guards or the cameras. When making this jump, I like to line up with the bush, then turn a bit to the left to make the jump. Once you've successfully made the jump, be careful because if you stop immediately, you run a high risk of getting caught. And if you go too fast, the next small jump can throw you over the edge into the water, making this mission longer than the whole heist itself. When you're on the dirt road, go behind the camera and look out for the guards driving around. Sometimes you'll be clear, making it easy, and sometimes you'll have to be quick to avoid their line of sight so you don't get caught. Once you're at the communication tower, if you don't see a guard, it means the box is on the ground. If you see a guard, it means you'll have to climb the tower until you find the box. Once you find the box, you'll have to hack it. This is really easy because if you look, X means times 10. The 2 lines with the line across means times 2, and the box with the line directly down the middle means times 1. All you have to do is match the number on top to unlock the box. Once you've unlocked the box, pull up your phone and open the bottom right app. This will give you access to the cameras. The main ones you want to focus on for a solo are the basement and the 2 office cameras. On screen now I have a list showing the value of normal versus hard mode primary loot. Your primary loot will always be either in the glass case or in the safe found directly to the right of the case in the basement. After you scouted that, head over to the office cameras and check for paintings. Remember that a single painting will fill up half of your bag, so if you get a painting and want to grab it later, don't fill up more than half the bag when you're looting from the airstrip. Once you've scouted the area, you can return to Los Santos by jumping off of the tower or getting caught by a guard, and then getting into the plane once you spawn back at the airstrip. Once you're back in Los Santos, return to your Kosatka and begin the prep missions for the final heist. I normally like to save the weapons for last and start with the equipment first. For the cutting torch, you'll be sent into a construction site and each site has a hard hat spawn right next to it. Once you learn all the hard hat spawns, the easier this will be. You could also go in and kill all the guards, however this could take longer. Once you've got the hard hat on, avoid running into the guards and workers so you're not suspicious, and this mission will be a lot easier. Check all the toolboxes until you find the cutting torch, then return to your Kosatka. You could get lucky and find it in the first box, or you could get unlucky and you'll be forced to check every box, so it's always nice to start at one and work your way down until you find it. There have been issues where the hard hat has randomly fallen, so be sure to be ready to draw your gun if it does, because the moment the hat is off, all of the guards will open fire. For this specific construction site, you want to fly your helicopter to the top and work your way down, because if you don't, you'll have to make your way up and this will take much longer. The other construction sites are pretty small and easy to get around, so this is the only one you have to worry about when it comes to landing at the very top. Next up is the fingerprint cloner. Now this setup is broken into two pieces. First, locating the archive by killing the 4 guards and hacking the laptop at the warehouse by clicking the red letters once they're in the middle line. This will turn the letters green if you've done it right. And second, sneaking into the archive to steal the fingerprint cloner. Both of these locations will have cameras. It's your call if you want to disable the first two by finding the switch on the side of the building and shooting the 2 at the archive. I strongly recommend ignoring the ones at the warehouse and only shooting the ones at the archive. Once you're inside the archive, the fingerprint cloner is normally in the far back tables of the archive, so run around all 3 tables until you get it to make the step a little faster. Once you've collected the fingerprint cloner, go ahead and go back to your kosatka. If you're asking yourself what'll happen if I don't shoot the cameras at the archive, the answer is very simple. Rubio will send men after you. However, if you park your Sparrow next to the archive, you have nothing to worry about. Next up is the plasma cutter, and just like the fingerprint cloner, this one is also broken into 2 steps. First, you'll need to enter the safe house, then you'll need to find the planning board and take a picture of it so you can send it to Pavel so that he can find the location of the cutter. Once you've sent the photo to Pavel, make your way out to your Sparrow and fly to the next location marked on your map. This location will have guards. Take them out quickly and take the plasma cutter. They will have backup on the way the moment you attack or get spotted, so the faster you do this, the easier it is to get away. I normally go in with my RPG and clean up with my AR, so you can do the same with other explosives if you don't have the RPG unlocked yet. If you're getting hit, you can quickly heal by pulling up your weapons wheel and eating a quick snack. You can get snacks at a store, or in some purchased areas such as the scrapyard or facilities. Remember that while speed is key, if you need to slow down to kill a few guards to guarantee you stay alive, then take the time you need. Once you have the plasma cutter, head back to your Sparrow and fly to your kosatka to start the next prep mission for Cayo Perico. After all the equipment is ready, I like to start the approach vehicle prep. Keep in mind you only need the equipment I've shown unless you get bear bonds, which then you'll need the safe codes instead of the plasma cutter. You never have to get the demolition charges unless you plan on doing things a different way. I like to use a long fin as my approach vehicle, so for this I use my own phantom wedge, which you can buy later from Warstock if you plan on doing solos often. Trucks will be marked on the map that you can use to steal the long fin. Now, what I like to do is steal the long fin, drive away from the police station, get out of the truck, and then go across the street to blow myself up with a grenade. This will make you lose your wanted level, making the delivery of the truck 10 times faster. Once you've delivered the truck, head back to your kosatka and start the weapons prep. Once you're back at your kosatka and have started the weapons prep, I use the aggressor loadout. You can buy the suppressors for the first time doing this, but anytime after that, you can apply them manually once you start the heist. You want to make sure you get anything other than Merryweather HQ. If you get the Merryweather prep, go to online, find a new session, and launch an invite-only session. Then, go back to your planning table and try again. Do this until you get anything that isn't Merryweather prep. Once you get the correct prep, you can enter the building from the front door or the roof entrance. I normally like to enter through the roof since it's faster to go in and out. If you go through the front door, the guards will be waiting outside. As with the roof entrance, you go directly inside. Once you're inside, you'll have to clear some guards to get to the safe on the wall. Click on the safe to discover it's locked. Then hack the laptop by finding the number combination shown above and the mixed numbers shown below. Once you've hacked the laptop, try opening the safe again. This time, take the weapons and head back to the exit. Make sure you leave the same way you came in. 2 helicopters will spawn, so make sure if you chose the roof entrance that you're fast to get out of there, otherwise they could kill you, making this mission a nightmare. Once you've completed all the preps, it's finally time to start your solo Cayo Perico heist. In order to start the heist, you have to go to your planning board and accept that the mandatory preps have been completed. Once you've done that, head over to Finale and then click Start. Click Confirm Settings and make sure matchmaking is closed, and then click Play. It will ask if you want to launch the job alone. Click Yes. This part is very important. For the approach vehicle, click Longfin. For the infiltration point, you can choose any. For the compound entry point, choose Draining Tunnel. For the escape point, you can choose any. For the set time, choose Day. And always make sure your loadout has suppressors. If they don't, double click the suppressor option until the box is orange like the aggressor box above it. Once you've done all that, click Continue. When the cutscene is over, make a sharp left and head towards the airstrip. This is where you'll find your secondary loot if you don't have paintings in the office. If you have one painting, only fill the bag halfway. If you have two paintings, skip this and go directly to the compound. Remember, in a solo you can only access the paintings in the office. Anything behind the keycard doors will be unavailable. Once you arrive at the airstrip, get off the boat and sneak past the first two guards. Then you'll want to take out the guard near the building so that you can loot without any issues. Go into the building and grab the best secondary loot you have on the tables. On screen now is how much room in the bag the loot will take from each table. After you're done, make your way to the side of the wall near the building you go behind. Take out the guard across from you and the camera below you. I personally like to take out the guard and the camera behind me as well because it gives you more time to loot and less of a risk of you getting caught. Remember not to kill a guard directly in front of a camera because that will set off the alarms. Once you've done this, go ahead and fill up your bag, then head back to the boat. Make sure you don't forget to sneak past the guards again. Once you've done this, go back to the boat and head to the compound. Once you arrive at the compound, this next step is very important. Be sure to equip your rebreather before jumping into the water because if you don't, you will most likely drown. Once you reach the gate, use a cutting torch to cut through the green lines. If you still have a green line, it means you haven't fully cut through that part of the gate. Once you're done, swim through the draining tunnel. You'll have to press a button to trigger a cutscene. After this cutscene, you'll be inside the compound. Once you're inside the compound, do exactly what I do. Alright, so first you want to go up the stairs and take a left immediately. Take another left and jump over the rail. Wait on the stairs until the guard starts moving. Walk behind them, sneak past or take out the next guard and go up the stairs. Lean on the wall until the next guard comes down, and walk up the stairs without bumping into him or alerting him in any kind of way. Once you're inside the office, come over and loot the safe. After that, you need to start hacking. If you have paintings in the office but forgot to grab them before you started hacking, it's okay. You can grab them later. The primary loot won't take up any room in your bag because Pavel has made a special space for the primary target. This is the hardest part of the heist. You have to match the fingerprint with the one shown next to you. However, once you get the hang of it, you'll fly by them in no time. If you fail or back out of the cloner, the alarms will be triggered, so be sure to get it done. Once you finish, the doors will open, taking you down to the basement. Cut through the chains and depending on what you get, grab your primary from the glass case or grab the bear bonds from the safe. For the glass case, you want to fill up the heat bar without overheating it. It normally takes me 4 bars to open the case. If it takes you a little longer, that's okay. Just be sure not to take too long if you want to complete the elite challenge for an extra 50k on normal and 100k on hard mode. Once you've got your primary target, go ahead and go back up to the office. Once you're in the office, you can loot for paintings if you have any. If not, then walk out the door and go down the stairs and stand behind the guard and wait for the perfect time to jump. You can extend your map to see where the 2 guards below you are. Once they've turned around, go ahead and jump. You can run up the stairs and head to the exit. I normally climb over the right side and hug the wall to avoid getting spotted. Once you're at the door, press the button required to trigger the cutscene. Once the cutscene is over, you are officially done with the hardest part of the heist, and now all you have to do is escape. Head over to the guard standing next to the bike and take him out. Then head over to the guard by the helicopter and take him out as well. Steal the jeep and drive the jeep into the water. Once you've driven the jeep into the water, all you want to do is start swimming slightly to the right until you trigger another cutscene. Once you start swimming, a helicopter will spawn and begin shooting you. You'll have to dive down and avoid getting shot because every time you get hit, you'll lose money. Now, once the minimap disappears, this means that you are safe and you triggered the cutscene. Once the cutscene has begun, you'll see yourself trading a bag for money. Congratulations, you have officially passed the heist. Now, if this video did help you, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Also, in the comment section down below, leave a comment letting me know what you plan on buying or what you have bought with the money that you've earned from solo Cayo Perico. Thank you again for watching, guys. Hope this video helps, and if it did, I'll see you guys in the next one.